Hey guys, it's BearInABackpack, and welcome to another review. Today we're going to be reviewing Mighty No. 9. Mighty No. 9 was developed by Concept and Inti Creates, with a dev team composed of veterans to the Mega Man series, and of course was led by Mr. Keiji Inafune himself. It was also published by Deep Silver. Mighty No. 9 is a Japanese-style side-scrolling action game inspired by the 8 and 16-bit classics, as they say, aka Mega Man. It was funded through Kickstarter with tons of fan involvement throughout the process, including voting on design choices. However, since the release of Mighty No. 9, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding it, mostly due to it really not living up to the hype that everyone had generated for it prior to its release. A lot of people have been saying it's not a Mega Man game. There's a lot of negative comments in general, really talking about how it just didn't live up to people's expectations of the game. Now, a lot of the reviews that have come out have really kind of focused on this fact that it's not a Mega Man game, and it didn't live up to the hype at all, and I was expecting this, or I was expecting that, and really wasn't focusing on the core gameplay. Sure, there was a comment here or there, but what I'm here to do today is to look at the game objectively and give you an opinion that's based on the game itself, how it plays, how it actually does, regardless of whether or not it lived up to what people thought it was going to be. You play as the robotic boy Beck, otherwise known as Mighty No. 9, who is of course the 9th in a series of robots known as the Mighty Numbers, so Mighty No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And of course, as you might imagine, the bosses that you fight are of course the other Mighty Numbers. The idea is that you hunt down each and every one of them to gather them back up and of course increase your own powers in the process to try and eliminate a virus that is taking control of all the mechanized objects and causing them to turn on the humans. These robots come in many different forms, from living tires, to rampaging street signs, to even trash cans that chuck grenades at you. Man, that's a little extreme to deal with the litter problem, don't you think? I mean, geez. You just post like a sign, or maybe run some advertisements against litter? I mean, future's weird, man. Using Beck revolves around his ability to accelerate, A-C-X-E-L-E-R-A-T-E. You'll see Zell is used quite a bit in this game. They kind of make a habit out of it. Trust me, you'll notice. You'll notice. They put it everywhere. Accelerate allows Beck to dash forward, be able to control his descent down by dashing down quickly, and be able to crouch under certain objects whilst also doing the dash. In addition to this, he can also use this to destroy stunned enemies and absorb them to help increase the energy that you use to use your special weapons. You can also use this to dash/glide over long distances to avoid falling to your, well, death. Using boss weapons consumes energy, and you can refill this by absorbing Zell from said stunned robots using Accelerate. Well, now that we've been introduced to the controls, why don't we go ahead and start a level?
All set?
You know what? Sure, let's find out a little bit about the level first.
Substantial damage to the
Okay.
refinery.
Okay, I think I got it. No, I just... okay, just click through it. No, oh god, no, not again. I just... oh god, no. Oh god, can I just get out of here? What? Son of a... I just want to leave. Oh god, it's like Gabora all over again. No, I just... how the hell do I... So it turns out when you try to access the mission explanation, if you press and hold A at the end, to get out of it, if you hold it for just too long, you reset it and have to listen to it over again. And if you just barely tap it, then you can get out of it. So sorry for holding it that fraction of a second too long. As mentioned earlier, enemies throughout the levels come in many different forms, and some are more dangerous than others. Say, the trash can. Well, I mean, it's kind of damaging. It has, a blast radius when the grenade goes off right next to your face, but it's stationary and doesn't really pose that much of a threat. However, there are some enemies that, really more due to placement than anything, can really mess your day up, because whenever you get hit, you get knocked back a bit, which, if they're right next to a ledge of death, yeah, not good. Probably gonna die. Hence, ledge of death. But, yeah, it's not... the placement can be what really messes with you in this. And that kind of brings me to my next point, talking about the traps in the game. The traps are really the most dangerous part of this game. Now, I can see where having traps in the game would be really beneficial, because having traps in the game makes it a little more challenging, right? You gotta be really careful, you gotta, choose your steps carefully. Oh, that wasn't so bad. How bad could it be? I mean, it's not like you're gonna have an entire corridor of spikes or anything. Oh, no. Ow. Son of a... god damn it. Ugh. Okay, maybe if I just... Son of a... Oh, come on, I wasn't even close! Ugh! Okay, I think I got it this time. Ugh! When you actually do finally make it to the boss, well, it's about as you would expect for a Mega Man-like game. The boss has a lot of health compared to you. You whittle down his health little by little until eventually he dies. The exception is that you have to use Accelerate to actually damage the boss. So you can only do a certain amount of damage to the boss before they go into a state where they start turning purple and, they give you the signal that you need to accelerate into them, right? Well, the thing is, if you don't do it in time, they actually regen the health and you have to damage them back to that point again. The only way to permanently damage them is to get them to that point, accelerate into them, and then it will reduce their maximum health, and you rinse and repeat till they go away. The bosses themselves, much like the levels of the game, vary wildly in difficulty. In fact, the first level boss, Pyro, is kinda difficult. He has an ability that will allow him to instant kill you about halfway through the battle, and if you don't dodge it, goodbye, hug of death. I kid you not, one of them he just grabs you, explodes, and you're dead. Hug of death, everybody. Whereas someone like Battalion later in the game is really easy, especially if you've beaten Cryo at this point, because you can just use Cryo's gun to freeze him, it'll do a ton of damage, hit him, freeze, hit, dead. Super easy. I'm not sure why they designed it this way, to be really hard at the beginning and then kind of easy towards the end. It's kind of strange. I don't know why they did that, but it is what it is. But the real struggle, Cryo's puns. My god, the puns. When you do manage to defeat the boss, it's pretty anticlimactic. I mean, you have this huge build-up, this like cinematic of Beck drawing back, just charging up his power, getting ready to just demolish the nothing. It's just kind of, it fades to white, and it's just the boss sitting there. He feels bad now. You've cured him with the power of friendship. At one point, you have the ability to play as Call, and yes, it's Beck and Call. Weird naming aside, when you play as Call, it's a 180-degree turnaround in terms of playstyle, and you only do it in one mission. So it takes a little while to get the hang of it, and you're going to die a lot because she just doesn't play the same as Beck at all. And really, it just ends up feeling really out of place. If you're looking for more content after beating the game, you have the ability to go to EX mode, which allows you to play challenges in solo or co-op, which are really just, like destroy the targets or reach the end of the mission in a certain time. You also have the ability to do the boss rush, which is basically, as you might imagine, going through every single boss as quickly as possible to get the best time. And you have the option of playing online race battle, which is terribly named, but what it really is that you fight against another player, not directly, but you try to get the best score playing a certain mission of the game. And if you don't like those options in EX mode, you can actually try upping the difficulty, because after you beat the main game, you get access to the harder difficulties that change the way the enemies behave and also make the game just so much harder. The characters are very much inspired by Mega Man, as you might expect, with the team being a veteran Mega Man team led by Kei Inafune. I mean, it just makes sense. However, Dr. White, he looks good and all, but he kind of looks like he might have left the stove on. Every boss has a unique look and personality that makes them stand out from one another. Like this guy. Oh, man, this thing's beautiful. Oh, what a majestic flow. Oh my god! The bright and colorful aspect of the game, combined with the cartoony anime feel, makes the game feel very alive and was a very welcome addition. Beck's resurrection, yep, there it is again, Zell, man, just everywhere. Anywho, the ability for him to change, reselect, his power, the boss power that you get by beating the different bosses of the game, looks pretty good, actually. It's a great combination of the boss's unique features, such as Battalion's, kind of pistol-shaped body, as well as, something like Avi's helicopter-shaped body, incorporated with the design of Beck, so that it still feels very much like it's still Beck, but they have these extra little features added to them that really makes it kind of fun. Many of the existing reviews really focused in on the voice acting of the game, and were claiming things so far as to say that it was like hiring Craigslist actors to do the voice acting. I really don't see this. In fact, if you look through the voice acting talent, there's a lot of high-profile voice actors like Matt Mercer and Steve Bloom. I don't think they did a bad job. I think that voice acting was really good. If anything, maybe the writing was a bit off. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's up that line either. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But I don't think I'd go so far as to say that, like, the voice acting was bad. Like, that's just unfair. The music overall wasn't bad. I mean, it's not really awe-inspiring or something I'm going to remember till the end of days, but it was good. It did what it was meant to do, and it's fun, peppy, action-packed, everything you'd expect. And to be fair, the 8-bit feature that you can activate in the menu to make everything sound like an old retro 8-bitty soundtrack, kind of a chiptune thing, it's pretty fun. I liked it. It was a fun little addition to play through the game like that. Overall, this game has received a lot of negative publicity, and people have been very harsh about it. Yeah, it has its problems, but it's a pretty decent game. Is it great? No. Is it really, really good? No. But it holds up. It's alright. Look, just because you've been waiting for something for 3 years, and you've spent all this time putting it together in your head, what it's going to be like, you're just imagining what it's going to look like when it finally comes out. Just because it doesn't live up to your vision doesn't make it a bad game. Look, we all know that nothing ever lives up to expectations, and we need to take that into account when we're thinking about games like this. Sure, we wanted a perfect, just wonderful Mega Man successor that we were all just hoping for. Yeah, it may not be that, but, that's okay too. So, let's get to the ratings and see how this game actually shook out, looking at it objectively without trying to take into account all the hype that may have come with this game originally. For gameplay, I give Mighty No. 9 6 out of 10. For graphics, 6 out of 10. For sound, 7 out of 10. Story, 4 out of 10. And content for cost, 4 out of 10. The one complaint that I saw a lot was that it's very expensive relative to the amount of gameplay, and I found that to be pretty true. Truth be told, I played the game for about 5 hours or so, and was able to beat the game. Now, that includes probably at least an hour and a half of me dying repeatedly and having to go back through the mission again. So, paying $20 for that amount of gameplay, and okay, so maybe 6 or 7 hours if you include all the challenges, maybe 8. It's kind of spendy for that. 10 or 15 would probably be a better price, but that's why I gave it that score. Now, this brings us to an overall score of 5.4 out of 10 for Mighty No. 9. Like I said, it's not the worst game at all. It's not the worst game ever made at like 2 out of 10 or something. But it's okay. It's about average. A little over average. It's okay. If you want to try out Mighty No. 9 for yourself, you can go to Steam and get it there. Well, that's it for this review, guys. Thanks for listening. If you like this review, please leave a like or comment down below. And if you want to hear more reviews like this and other gaming content, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps out, and then you get to stay up to date with everything. Isn't that great? Also be sure to check out my other gaming reviews and my Brigador Let's Play. The links are right there. Go ahead and click on them. See you guys later.